Talking more does not make people agree with you. Talking less does. And I know that sounds backwards, because everything you were taught says the opposite. Make a stronger case. Give more reasons. Be more persuasive. But here's the dark truth that nobody in a sales training or communication course will ever tell you. The more you push, the more people dig in. It's called the backfire effect. And scientists at the University of Michigan studied it and found that when people feel pressured to change their minds, they actually believe their original position more strongly. Not less, more. So everything you've been doing in hard conversations might be making things worse. But the people who figured out the real solution, speakers, they were FBI hostage negotiators. They were FBI hostage negotiators. People who sit across from someone holding a weapon and a grudge, and they have to get that person to say yes. No pressure, no force, just words. And I'm going to give you their exact 5 techniques right now. One more thing before we start. Watch closely when we get to number 4. It's a single type of question FBI negotiators ask that makes the person across from you stop arguing against you and start quietly building the yes themselves. The first time you use it on someone who's already told you no, you'll feel like you cheated. Now, be honest with yourself for a second. Have you ever been in a conversation where you knew you were right? You had the facts, you had the logic, you had receipts, and the other person still would not budge. Maybe it was your boss who kept saying no to your idea. Maybe it was your partner stuck on something that made no sense. Maybe it was a coworker who just seemed to enjoy being difficult, and you left that conversation frustrated, thinking, what is wrong with them? Nothing is wrong with them. The problem was the approach. Because humans do not respond to logic first. They respond to feeling understood first. That is the whole game. And once you get that, everything shifts. By the end of this video, you will have 5 real tools from real FBI training that you can use in any conversation, at work, at home, in a text message, anywhere. Let's go number 1, the label. Picture this. Someone comes to you upset, frustrated, already halfway to an argument. Here's what most people do. They say calm down, or they jump straight to solutions, or they start defending themselves. Wrong. Every single one of those makes things worse. Here's what you do instead. You name what you see. You say, it seems like you're really frustrated about this. Or, it sounds like this has been a lot to deal with. That's it. 3 words. It seems like. It sounds like. You're not agreeing with them. You're not saying they're right. You're just naming the emotion out loud. And here's the crazy part. Researchers at UCLA found that when you label an emotion, the emotional activity in the brain literally decreases. The amygdala calms down. Their guard drops, and now they can actually hear you. 3 words. Use them. Number 2, the mirror. This one is so simple it feels like it should not work, but it does, every single time. When someone says something, you repeat the last 2 or 3 words as a question. That is the whole move. They say, I just don't think the timing is right. You say, the timing isn't right? They say, yeah, because we tried something like this before and it failed. You say, it failed? And they just keep going. They explain. They go deeper. They start working through their own objections out loud. Chris Voss was the lead international hostage negotiator for the FBI for over 2 decades. He wrote a whole book on this, and he says mirroring is one of the single most powerful tools in negotiation because it signals that you are listening. And people trust people who listen. One quick thing before number 3. You don't strike me as someone who just wants to feel right. You actually want the other person to land somewhere different too. Go ahead and hit subscribe. Imagine the conversations in your life that wouldn't go sideways if even half the people in them knew how to talk like this. And number 4 is the question that makes the no slowly rebuild itself into a yes without you ever having to push. Number 3, the pause. Most people are scared of silence. The second a conversation goes quiet, they rush to fill it. Don't. After you ask something, stop talking. Let it sit. Count to 5 in your head if you have to. 7, 10. Let the silence breathe. Silence makes people uncomfortable. And when people are uncomfortable, they talk. And when they talk, they reveal things, real concerns, real hesitation. The actual reason behind the reason. Ask yourself for a second, when was the last time you actually let a silence sit? This one took me a while to do. I used to jump in immediately. It felt rude not to, but the first time I forced myself to wait, the other person told me something they never would have said otherwise. The real issue came out, and the whole conversation changed because of it. Silence is not awkward. Silence is information. Number 4, the calibrated question. This is the one I told you about at the start, the one that feels almost unfair. Here is the setup. Stop asking yes or no questions. Instead, ask how or what questions, not can you do this. Instead, how would you make that work? Not, will you help me with this? Instead, what would need to happen for you to feel good about this? Here is why this is so powerful. How and what questions cannot be answered with a simple no. They require thinking. And the moment someone starts thinking about how something could work, their brain shifts. They are no longer arguing against you. They are solving a problem with you. And here's the part that connects back to what we talked about with the label and the mirror. When someone feels heard first, and then you ask them a how question, they do not just think about it. They build the answer. They construct the solution. And people fight for ideas they helped create. They resist ideas pushed onto them. Same outcome, completely different resistance. Imagine that happening in your next hard conversation. The person who was saying no starts building the yes themselves. Number 5, the accusation audit. This one sounds completely backwards, but stick with me. Before you ask for anything, you list every possible objection they might have. Out loud. First, I know this is a lot to ask. I know this is not what you were expecting to hear. You name it before they do. Here is what that does. It strips the ammunition right out of their hands. If you say it first, they cannot use it against you. If you say it first, they cannot use it against you. And more importantly, they feel seen. They feel like you actually understand their side. A 2022 study published in the Journal of Conflict Resolution found that negotiators who named potential objections before making their case reached agreement nearly twice as often as those who didn't. Twice. That is not a small difference. Now here is the thing that ties all 5 of these together. None of them are about being smarter. None of them are about building a better argument. All 5 of them do one thing. They make the other person feel safe enough to agree. That is the real game. People do not need to be convinced. They need to feel heard first. And when you give them that, they open a door that no amount of logic can unlock. 3 months ago, I used the label and the calibrated question back to back in a conversation where someone had already told me no twice. By the end of the conversation, they came up with the solution themselves. They thought it was their idea. And honestly, good. Let them think that. The result was what mattered. This is not manipulation. This is communication that actually works. There is a difference, a big one. Pick one. Just one of these 5. The label, the mirror, the pause, the calibrated question, the accusation audit. Take one into your next difficult conversation. Watch what happens. Then come back and tell me in the comments which one you are going to try first. I read every comment. I will see you in the next one.